Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and you want to support the channel and you're really serious about trading, then definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. So, yes, S&P 500 post first closed above 6,300. Nasdaq hit a record head of big tech earnings, brand new all-time highs on S&P and Nasdaq 100. That's what we saw. But at the end, we saw a bit of a pullback. Dow was going up today, was in the green, but then you can see all the gains are pretty much wiped off. Pretty much flat day here on Dow. Nasdaq was up nearly 1%. Now still up in the green, 0.38%. S&P up 0.14%. It was up more than that. We did hit another brand new all-time high, and Russell going down 0.40%. 11 sectors. What do we have? Well, got communication services led the way on top, led by Google, and then Meta. You guys will see a play on Meta later on. Basic materials, consumer cyclical, real estate, utilities. Stock market map. What do we have here? Well, Nvidia is still hanging on, down 0.60%. Broadcom hitting another brand new all-time high. Microsoft flat. Apple going up after going up more than 1%, pretty much came back, and that we'll talk about that in a moment. But Apple just cannot get out of the woods. Google, huge rally, up nearly 3%. Meta up 1.23%. Netflix catching a breather now, up nearly 2%. Tesla flat after going up, I think, almost 2%. And Amazon hitting that target 230 today. And now we need to talk about, I think, Apple stock first before going into anything else, guys. On Apple stock, it's up just over 0.5%, but it was up more than 1%. And you can see the move again. What happened here? Well, that's why I have this highlighted purple line here. That's going to be the resistance that we need to get over. You can see this rejection here. We didn't get close to it, but still the same thing. We got close to it. And then this was the big move to the downside on April 4th, right? That's where the stock bottomed, and then we had that massive move to the upside. And then what happened? Apple came back up to that same range, just over 214, pulled back all the way down to 193. We came right back up, and this time is different. It's gonna get that breakout. No, same thing happened. Pulled back down to 193. What happened again? Well, it was making a move back up to the upside. We didn't get here, but we got a lower high here, and then again just holding up here after this consolidation took place. And then now we're consolidating here, and maybe, I mean, this could be a breakout, but so far it's just not happening. Even today, I was hoping that Apple can close over 214, but you can see this rejection about 2 weeks ago right here. We had that massive pop, did not hold. Came back in, just consolidating here. We popped again here on Apple stock today. Massive pop this morning. And the candle, definitely not a bullish looking candle. If this candle was like this, that would have been really bullish on Apple. But I think what's happening here, guys, I mean, these other names like Nvidia, Google, and now Amazon outrunning Apple stock. But at some point, I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe this earnings can do it, or maybe right after earnings. Apple is due for a run. At least I would say here, 221, 225. I'm not too sure about all-time highs immediately, but it'll go there. This is the only thing that is lagging behind, way behind. I mean, this is just too much to take on Apple. I mean, look at the market cap, $3.17 trillion, and Nvidia sitting, I mean, over 4 trillion. That is massive. And we're not even getting a pullback, not a $3 pullback, not a $5 pullback on Nvidia. Even today, that thing was pumping up until end of the day where that thing was just finishing red. So Apple earnings next week, end of the week, the last day of the month, and Apple tried again today and failed. So if you see Apple getting over to 14 and holding there, guys, you can see this thing will likely to explode all the way up to this gap. I thought today was the day that we're gonna see that, but that was not the case. And obviously, Apple came back, and now we just have to wait. So there will be support right here at 211. If that gives up all the way down here at 207, 211 can hold. As of right now, it's holding way over 211, and we get that breakout over that highlighted purple line, which is 214, then you're going to see a quick trip all the way up to 221 to close the gap on top, and possibly within the next few days, maybe even retest these highs right here, which is at 225 on Apple. And here's my X account. And if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And here's a fire trade on Meta that we took last week on Friday. You can see Friday, July 18th at 9:35 a.m. Meta was trading at around 696, and that's where I took these calls right here, 7:15. And fast forward today, guys, it was at 17 almost on Meta. We took profit on that play and got out. It was a really nice play because earnings also coming up pretty soon. So all these types of trade ideas, and especially if you want to support the channel and you're really serious about trading, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And you can also give me a follow right here. And if you have a question that you want to ask, this would be the right way to go right here on X. On Tesla stock is absolutely flat on the day. So Tesla, we actually got into just two contracts today, but it didn't pay and got out for a break even because of earnings coming up just after tomorrow on Tesla. And you can see rejection again. We gapped over 330. We talked about it in my video last night that we can possibly see a gap up over 330. We got that today, but then what happened? Failed again, came back in, and pretty much sitting right below 330. So critical level to watch 325, 317 down to 300. If we can get the breakout over 330, it can run definitely up to 346, maybe even this high right here, which is going to be around 360 to 362, all the way up to 375, and that could come after earnings. Depend on how investor like what Elon has to say on that earnings call, guys. On Google stock, it's up 2.80%. So I'm not gonna go back and do a recap on Google, but people that are subscribed to my channel, watching my videos, especially for these big names that a lot of the other channels they cover one or two stock here and there, and then they talk about the entire market, but nobody covers all these big names like my channel. And I said it many times, before that Google is another one that I can see. I even said it last night that it can make a move. And what happened today? Explosion here, up over $5, and now it's looking extremely bullish. You see a pullback here at 185 that holds. It can just continue to rip higher. And why? I mean, this thing is not at 204 today. I mean, you can see this Bollinger Band has to expand, and earnings coming up also on Wednesday with Tesla. And if this time they beat, there is some good guidance. Definitely this thing can also go for a brand new all-time high. So Google definitely making all the right moves, and it can possibly go higher. 185 key level of support, and then 181 underneath that, 178, 176. But I think right now the momentum is really good, and we're getting some volume. So if this thing continues and stays over 185, it can easily run up to 200, and then this gap gets into play, which is at 204.26 on Google. On Microsoft, we saw a slight pullback today to 505, and that was it. I mean, would you even call this a pullback? Thing is absolutely flat, just consolidating, and nothing wants to come down, nothing wants to give up. I mean, look at the market, it's just insane. If you're just a day trader and you're not swing trading, this is really bad because what kind of money are you gonna make day trading like this? Yes, I mean, there is money. I'm not saying you cannot make money at all, but that big money, where if there is a gap down or a massive gap up, where you can go with some confidence and short or maybe even buy the dip, it's not there. It's a slow grind up, just a small pullback. I mean, I would not even call this a pullback. It lasted maybe 3 minutes, and this thing came right back up, and now closing at 510, which is the well target, and that is looking good for more upside, but we'll see how that goes. If this thing takes out this previous all-time high, it can possibly go up to 530, 550, but let's just not go there right now. So Microsoft here, 510 holds, look for more upside. This high could be taken out here. 510 breaks, then maybe we get to see some sort of a pullback near 500, but that's not the case right now. So we just have to be patient with the Microsoft because if you're trying to long here, this is a really bad spot. And if you're trying to short, it can still go up, slow grind up. So you might get paid in a couple of months, but you're not gonna get paid immediately on Microsoft. And then you have to deal with earnings, which is coming up end of this month. On Meta, it's up 1.23%. So you guys saw that fantastic play that we took on Friday right here, right about here. And then it went down a little bit more. I didn't sell it because I had some time. And right now, like I said, it's not a market where you're gonna make money immediately day trading. So that's why day trade turning into like a smaller overnight swing trade. And this worked out perfectly for us. I'm out. I don't have anything. You guys saw the play. It was fantastic. And guess where I took profit? Right here, guys. When I saw 716, 20-day moving average, I'm gone, out. I don't care if this thing goes to 740. I'm not greedy. That's a big move. Just from 700, that is a $16 move. And not to mention, we caught another $4 from these lows down here, which is 696. So that is a $20 move that we caught on Meta, and it was a really nice. I mean, this thing paid for the entire week. It was really good. I did sell some other swings. Usually, I don't share all the swings, all the plays. We had RKT that we took profit. That thing is up today. You guys can look up. Rocket Mortgage. That's one that really got up and started going today. And then we had some other plays that we took profit on. These are not like quick day trades, but sort of a day trade where we just have to hold a little bit longer to make some money. And this worked out really nicely. Obviously, this thing did not get that pump over that 716, 717 over these moving averages, came back in. And now, if this thing pulls back down to 705, that could be a buying opportunity, but be careful. Earnings coming up end of this month. 716 breaks, it can go higher, possibly up to 730 plus, and then maybe we get to see previous all-time high retested again on Meta. Now, if this thing breaks below the gap, 704.71 gets under 700, then watch out for 695 to 682 on Meta. On AMD, absolutely flat on that day, and this thing just trying to hold this 5-day moving average, and it's not actually holding 158. We need to get over 158 for more upside up to that 174 range, but we need to get over 162 before we get there at a 174. As of right now, if we cannot get over 158, it can possibly pull back and close this gap at 147, 148, and that should be a buying opportunity on AMD. But as of right now, if you're chasing here, this is really a bad spot to be in right now on AMD. Also, we do have earnings coming up beginning of next month right here on AMD. So Netflix, we got exactly what I said last night in my video. Some sort of a relief rally. It came back again down to where? Well, perfect buying opportunity, 1200, and from there, it actually made a big move, guys. I mean, that is almost a $40 move to the upside from these lows. So if you actually are targeting one, stock or maybe two or maybe even four, and it's right on your screen, you have the levels, and you're seeing that it's holding and you can take all the plays. If what if two of your plays or three makes money and two maybe you get out for 20%, other ones are you're making like 60, 70, 80%. That's how a lot of these big traders make money. They don't just go and buy and hold everything every time, especially on a day trade. So this was a fantastic opportunity, and it did bounce, just like I said, off of this lower Bollinger Band and oversold condition on shorter time frame, not longer, and it got up to the 50-day moving average, and now it's sitting over 1229. So 1229 can hold. It can push possibly up to 1245, maybe even 1270, 1300. But if it gets below 1200, that's when you got to be concerned, because then you're going to see a deeper pullback down into that 1163 $63 range, and from there even previous all-time highs could be retested right here on Netflix. Well, guys, I was talking about Amazon hitting 230, and it can possibly go there this week, even today, last night. Well, we almost got there, 229.69. So the move already happened here on Amazon. And now if you're trying to chase, I don't think this is a good spot. But if this thing, I mean, with earnings coming up, you can't really do much unless you're a really good gambler and you know what to do with earnings and you've been playing and you've been winning a lot, like 70, 80% of these earnings, then yeah, go ahead and, jump in and do whatever you want to do. But traders like myself, I would like to distance myself from these types of trades, even though I know what the outcome is and where the stock is heading. So 230 breaks, there is still money to be made here on Amazon. 236 possibly can come and maybe even brand new all-time high, or at least a retest of previous all-time high. But that depends on this earnings, which is coming end of this month. I think the same day Apple reports earning also. So keep an eye on that. Now, if there is a pullback, well, 225 and then this range right here, 224-ish, 5-day, and these highs right here can act as a support. 221 is going to be another level to watch right here. 20-day moving average, and only below that you're going to see a dump off down to 216. The Nvidia stock is down a little bit today, but the slow grind up still continuing here on Nvidia and just consolidating at new all-time highs. So what is going to take place on Nvidia? Well, you can see past couple days just consolidating back and forth, not really making a big progress after this massive gap up and go, which is at 165. So I think in the short term, if we cannot clear top of these candles right here, then you're going to see a pullback down here to close the gap. And that is the pullback in the short term I'm actually expecting here on Nvidia. But if this thing gets over this high right here, around 174, then definitely those calls that were coming in before still have time. 180 calls, it can definitely get up to 180. So that's it, and that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated